ask a question. What was afterward?
Afterwards, then, after.
It lasted. It took like it lasted.
Yes.
Involved. He looked completely flustered. What is flustered? Yes. Nervous.
Panic, anxiety, nervous.
Saw 10 people waiting to interview him. The company uses a more personal. To hiring. They prefer conversations to formal tests. The company uses a more personal.
Approach.
A way doing something or thinking about something. A way of doing or thinking about something. The company uses a more personal approach to hiring. They prefer conversations to formal tests. During the group task, we were expected to. During the group task, we were expected to solve the problem in 5 minutes. Flapping.
No. Flapping is about your wings.
During the group task, we were expected to think on the feet.
To think on our feet. On our feet will be okay.
Yes. To think on our feet, yes.
On our feet.
And solve the problem in under 5 minutes. I would like to speak to the who arranged this interview. No one told me it was going to be filmed. I would like to speak to the
Who is giving a job?
recruiter.
So recruiter will be okay for us.
Okay. Sorry. Thank you.
No worries.
I'm searching from the first example. There is no recruiter, but in the box there.
So, can you write first answer? Yes. So. Can you describe extreme interviews? What are extreme interviews?
Extreme interviews is an interview with questions, with bizarre questions, for example, yes?
Yes, bizarre questions, difficult questions.
Yeah, extraordinary questions like, answer the question, what are the extreme interviews? I answered yes.
So, go ahead.
What kind of companies first started using them? What kind of company first started using what mean?
What kind of companies? Can you give me company names used extreme interviews? They created extreme interviews. In this article you read the name of these companies, big companies.
Yes. Any companies use extreme interviews?
According to the article text you read, we have some companies.
Yes. Like the Apple company.
Apple. Another one?
I don't remember.
Apple, Microsoft, Silicon Valley companies, especially tech companies, Google.
Yes.
Steve Jobs, they said.
Steve Jobs.
Question 3.
Why do some people think that they are better than normal interviews? Why do some people think that they are better than normal interviews. Interviews. Is it interviews or interviewers?
Interviews. Hı hı.
Yes. Türkçe nasıl anladın?
İş görüşmesi.
Ben böyle anladım da niçin insanlar kendilerini interview'dan
No. People think. İnsanlar neden düşünüyor? Bazı insanlar neden düşünüyor? Neyi? Absürt, abuk sabuk iş görüşmesi normal iş görüşmesinden daha iyi.
they're better. Can you help to answer?
Of course, I will tell first of all. Some people think that extreme interviews are better than normal interviews. The question asks, Pachimo, why? Why they think like this? These people think like this. Do you have an idea?
I don't know, sorry.
Especially it tests your anxiety, it tests your stress management abilities, skills. As well, you are looking for a worker for a company. In that case, if you hire good people, if you hire skilled workers, you need to ask first of all such kind of questions, not classic ones. Classic ones are already outdated, old modern, old-fashioned, basically, we can say. You need to ask some questions, can easily test people's abilities. I can say as an answer. So, do you think extreme interviews are a good way of choosing candidates?
I think maybe it is good due to see how the interview the candidate is appear yourself in that time, for example. Will he be stressed or panic or not panic, not stressed, just answer the question of interviewer. I think,
Why not?
what?
I said why not? It is okay.
Yes, I think also that.
So,
Which of the questions below used in real interviews do you think would work well? Why? On scale of how well are you? Which teacher are you most like? Room, desk, or car? Which do you clean first? Does life fascinate you? Fascinate what?
fascinate. It is fascinate. It means does life is anxiety and then makes you happy.
If you were a car, can you name three Lady Gaga? Weird, what it means?
In chat box I wrote it. I said weird, absurd, bizarre,
Yeah.
abuk sabuk.
I think first question will be good to ask from candidate.
To ask the candidates, we can say.
Yeah.
So. This part will be your homework. Think a job and then please send me your answer if you want via WhatsApp. And I will listen to your answer and I give my feedback. This part as well, your homework. Please do it after the lesson. If you have any questions, you can see my WhatsApp number here. Please send me a message with screenshot that I can see your question and I will help you. Okay?
Thank you. My second lesson today, you better than first lesson.
Thank you, schön. When you get used to my lessons, it will be more enjoying for you. First lessons generally a little bit stressful.
I have 40 lessons, and I see 2-3 people
Teachers.
also after come back to you.
Ah, thank you, sure.
Thank you.
You're
If
welcome.
any questions I can ask from WhatsApp, yes?
Yes, you can see my direct number, WhatsApp here. Anytime you can ask.
Can I ask one question?
Uh-huh.
How to say, if I have questions, can I ask, or how to say?
If I have questions, may I ask my questions to you? May I ask questions, basically, we can say.
I'm confusing when...
No worries. So, I need to run to another classroom now. After it, not forget to do your homework and business English part, please. I will check. So, nice to meet you. Take care of yourself. I hope see you in the next lessons. Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.
So guys, just for a minute, I will give a break and I'll come back. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear.
Perfect. How is it going? Is everything well? Good evening.
Good evening. Yeah, I'm okay. How about you?
I'm excellent. Well, thank you. So, let's start. Collectible English Part 2. First of all, do you know these books? Scarlet the Warrior, Philip Pullman, Northern Lights. Have you ever seen them?
Actually, no, I don't know them.
Mm-hmm. So, can you start reading this text, please? Then we will discuss.
Julia Eccleshare is a
Julia
well-known
Eccleshare.
British. Eccleshare is
Mhm.
a well-known British journalist and a writer on the subject of children's books. She has been children's book editor for the Guardian newspaper since 2000. She regularly appears as a judge or chair of judges on some of the major children's book prizes, and is particularly interested in how to encourage children and young people to read. Julia was awarded the Eleanor Fagion Prize in 2000 in recognition of her outstanding contribution to children's books.
Mm-hmm. What did you understand?
She's a writer, and she writes especially for children audition, and she's a well recognized and awarded author.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so let's move on. Can you listen to this part 1 interview with her and then talk about these 4 books at the same time? True, false exercise done, please.
2.23 Interview with a children's book expert. Part 1.
What was your favourite book when you were a child?
It's always very difficult thinking back to one's favourite book as a child because different times were different favourite books. But the book that I remember best, that I go back to in times of wanting to have a quiet moment of reflection, is a book by Rosemary Sutcliffe called Warrior Scarlet. And why it appealed to me is very hard to say. It's about a boy with a withered arm in the Iron Age who can't get his place in the tribe because he can't kill a wolf. I probably read it once a year even now.
Even now?
Well, yes, because there is a special thing about reading a book that you loved as a child. It takes you back to that time. Typically, if you ask people about their favourite book as a child, or the book that made them a reader, which I think is another way of looking at it, they can remember a fantastic amount about it. They can often remember who gave it to them, or who read it to them, or where they read it, and I have exactly that experience with that book.
When you were a small child, who read to you? Your mother or your father?
Well, I'm the third of 4 children, and this is a terrible thing to say, but I don't think anybody read to me. I think I remember listening in on my older sisters being read to. So I was the youngest of 3 girls, and then I've got a younger brother. And I very much remember my mother reading the Laura Ingalls Wilder Little House on the Prairie sequence to my brother. And that's when I heard them too. I certainly never had them read to me. And then my father read me Runa Godden's Mouse House. And again, this is a very profound memory, probably because he didn't actually very often read aloud. So it's logged in my brain as something that he read to me.
And who read to your children? You or your husband?
Well, that's interesting, because if I think back to it, I think perhaps because I worked in books and my husband didn't, he seems to have done more of the reading aloud than I did. He loved reading aloud. He has incredible stamina for it, and he would read for an hour quite happily. I think at the end of a working day, it was quite a nice thing for him to do.
Do you have a favourite children's writer?
I think my favourite author at the moment is Philip Pullman. I think he gave us a classic book in Northern Lights, the first of his Dark Materials trilogy, which opened up to a very wide range of children what imaginative fiction can be at its best. And there's nothing that Philip has written that isn't interesting, beautifully crafted, surprising, and a story that you reflect on. He raises so many questions, giving openings for children to think. That's the best kind of writing as far as I'm concerned. So if you ask me now of a contemporary writer, he would be the person who I think is the greatest.
So, finished?
I finished.
What did you understand?
Mostly,
No, what did you understand, I asked. Can you talk about what did you understand?
there's a dialogue between two people, and the reporter asks the woman about her like reading
Mm-hmm.
and what books she likes to read, what like did her parents read to her when she was a child,
Mm-hmm.
and now does she read the book to her children, and she's her favorite author.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. So can you come to the true false section? Then after it we will talk about these books. Nice. So, what did you hear about these 4 books? In section B.
She mentioned Warrior Skylock.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the only book she mentioned.
The other ones as well she mentioned. Did you remember?
No, I don't remember.
Okay. First we can check other parts, and then if you have time left, we can listen one more time to discuss this section. So, listen to this podcast again. She's talking about these 3 pictures, these 3 books. Match them, please. You need to write 1, 2, 3 in these boxes.
2.24. Interview with a children's book expert. Part 2.
What do you think is the one big thing that helps to make a child a reader?
One of the extraordinary things about reading that isn't talked about enough, I think, there's a lot of talk about how children learn to read and all of this, but actually, and what strategy might be best, but actually, what makes a reader a book? It's finding the book that you really want to read. And so that's the chemistry, that's the chemical moment when a child finds something that they really want to read.
Teenagers can also be quite negative about reading. What do you think can help inspire teenagers to read?
Well, I think the biggest inspiration, I would like to say, again, to get back to the idea that it is the right book, but I think there are lots of ways into reading. And one of the things that's very evident is that good films, far from putting children off reading the book, often take children or teenagers to read the book. You take a book like The Beach, all right, it wasn't a book that was written for children, but it was a great teen novel. It was a sort of almost a teen anthem novel. And a lot of teenagers read the book after they'd seen the film.
How do you feel about children reading books which are badly written?
What I certainly wouldn't do is make judgments about quality of writing. One of the weirdest things that happens in children's books is that as soon as a child finds an author that they love, the parents tend to think it's not suitable. Because they think if the child is loving it, it's too easy or too trivial or too whatever. Jacqueline Wilson is a very good example of this. She's an author who girls particularly found and loved for years, and it's taken the parents a very long time to realise that she is a very good author. And what do you say about someone like J.K. Rowling, who is, not a great literary stylist, but has some really remarkable qualities in her books, and will be credited over probably 3 more generations for having made children readers. I wouldn't want to say children shouldn't have read her books because they're not of great literary quality.
I finished listening.
Okay, I finished as well. So, can you do the first section first, please? Okay, then choose the right answer for the second part, please. Be careful. Okay, nice. Can you criticize this podcast? What did you hear? What is your own opinion about it?
Books for children. Books for children. Actually, I didn't read so much books for children, and when I was a child, I read a lot of classic books. So I'm not really familiar with the books for children, especially the 3 books here mentioned. I know Harry Potter, but not from the book, but from the movie. So, what about children should or shouldn't read? I think every person has their own reading style. So to talk about they should read this book or they shouldn't read this one, I think it's maybe incorrect, because we gain experience from reading, even if it's not so good book for us, but we built our reading style by
Reading habit, maybe.
Yeah, reading habit by reading a lot of various books. So I think it's useful to read a lot of books, as many books as we can.
Okay. So. Let's come. First of all, I'll ask these questions, then we will listen. What do you think about print books, e-books, and the other kind of press styles?
I personally prefer print books, but if it's like books from maybe United States or some Europe, it's always comfortable to read e-books rather than waiting for the translation in this book and its distribution in our country. So I think it's both are very both are good ways to read.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think about the second question, that people think people read fewer than in the past nowadays? And what can be the reason for your answer?
Actually, I don't think people are reading fewer books now, but the auditorium of readers are not growing in the same size as the users of technologies.
Mm-hmm.
So because of that, it may seem like it's not growing, or people don't read anymore. But
Mm-hmm.
I think it's not true, because when we go to libraries or bookstores, there are always plenty of people.
Perfect. So you read for pleasure or just knowledge, or for what you read books?
For many various goals, like when I want to read for pleasure, I prefer books about history, about or classic books. When I want to gain some knowledge, I choose books from the scientists, from doctors who have a really good,
Good background, good experience.
background, a lot of experience in the particular science or subject. So I can read for many for
Many
various-
aspects, realms, fields, can I say?
yeah, of course. Yeah, many fields, many subjects, and many genres as well.
Okay. So, can you listen to this podcast now and answer the questions?
Yeah, okay.
2.25 Interview with a children's book expert, Part 3.
For the most part, do you read paper books or e-books?
I'm almost entirely a print book reader. But that's not out of prejudice, that's just out of the fact that I get sent all the books, so it's easy for me to find the book I want to read and pick it up. I read on my iPad sometimes. I think we ought to sort of stop seeing the two in polarity. I think, everybody is going to read both. I read the newspaper online, I read it in print on the weekends. I think we're all just going to get very used to reading in different ways.
Has all the new media made young people read less?
When television first hit, as it were, everyone said children would stop reading. And the curious thing is, the children's books, and even books for teenagers, are stronger now, much stronger than they were when children's television first took hold. Children's television has slightly dwindled, books have increased. So the book has always been under threat from these other media, but somehow reading survives. So there must be something very important about it, or it would have gone. We would all have taken to seeing things in film, which is a much easier way of accessing the same wonderful stories. Or I always think the thing that really threatens reading is listening to music. I know you can do both, but most people don't. But, you know, even with the explosion of music that children have access to, they still have found time for reading.
Do you still read for pleasure?
Well, I still do read for pleasure, but it's harder to get back to that magical experience, which I do remember very clearly from childhood. I do remember that being totally absorbed in the book. But as you get older, it's just harder to carve out time like that, and there's always something else pressing. And of course, that's got more so if, you know, I have a BlackBerry, I look at it all the time. And I have to stop myself doing that if I'm going to enter this amazing fictional world. So for me, the place that it really works best is a long train journey, because I don't have to look at anything. I can be out of my ordinary life, and I can just have that experience of getting completely lost in the story. But it only really works when the story comes to you and you have that kind of chemical moment when the story grabs you and you know you're not going to stop until you've got to the end of it, or whatever, you know you want to read it as long as possible. So I can still read for pleasure, but I have to find the right book.
Okay, I finished.
Finished. What did you understand? Can you answer these questions now?
Does she read print books, e-books, or both? She said that she mainly reads print books, but sometimes she uses her iPad to read. Does she think people will read fewer books because of all the new technology? She said that a lot of people thought when the television first appeared, people will read fewer now, but there was a vice versa situation, and books have, like, you know, increased their
Gained its
auditorium.
popularity.
Yeah. There was many books, popular books, so it didn't lose its like auditorium. And she said that listening to music might be the biggest threat to reading rather than television or technology.
Okay. So you see,
Does she-
go ahead.
Does she still read for pleasure? Yeah. She said that she reads for pleasure now, but for doing that, she must find the right book. So to feel the emotions, feelings from the book, chemical like connection, and for doing that, she must find a right book to read for pleasure.
Perfect. So can you talk about these 5 statements? What she mentioned with these 5 statements?
I think we are how to sort of stop seeing the truth and polarity. I think, you know, everybody's going to read.
What she said about this statement?
I guess it's about that was the first question. She said she personally reads print books, but sometimes she might use her iPad to read.
And the next question?
found a thread from these other media. Yeah, she mentioned that like first television appearance, and a lot of people said that reading will like decreasing among people, but reading survived and even like even increased. The amount of books or different like popular authors. So she at the end she mentioned about listening to music.
Okay, gotcha. Next one.
I know you can do both, but most people don't. I don't remember this sentence actually.
I know you can do both, but most people do not. Multitasking. Multitasking, have you ever heard? Listening to the music at the same time you can read something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she at the end to answer the second question, she mentioned that listening to music might be the biggest threat to reading, because like it takes the focus of people. So rather than other media, it might be like the biggest threat.
Perfect. And the next one now.
But as you get older, it's just harder to carve out time like that, and that there's always something else pressing. Yeah, she's right. It's from the answer for the third question about reading for pleasure. She was talking about like finding the like right book to read for pleasure. So she said this was like it's not so easy to take time, like when everything like job or children or any other responsibilities are pressing. So finding the right book is not so easy.
Perfect.
And you have that kind of chemical moment when the story grabs you. It's also from the answer to this third question. She was talking about like feeling the book, getting the pleasure of reading. So yeah, she said these sentences to not just read like for the fact or read for the reading, but to feel, to have a like chemical connection with the book, with the story we are reading. So if she finds the right book, she can feel it. She will have a like chemical connection with the story on that book.
Perfect. So. Can you remember these sentences? Can you feel it?
That's interesting because if I think back to it, the first sentence, I think it's from the answer to the question when the reporter asked about her childhood, who like did her parents read a book or not to her?
So, what word would be the answer for it? Or would you like to listen to it?
Like, there must be a word.
Of course. You need to complete sentences.
I don't remember actually.
Okay, let's listen and then feel.
Okay.
2.26. Interview with a children's book expert. Looking at language.
Well, that's interesting because if I think back to it, I think there's a lot of talk about how children learn to read and all of this, but actually, and what strategy might be best, but actually, what makes a reader? Well, I think the biggest inspiration, I would like to say, again, you take a book like The Beach, all right, it wasn't a book that was written for children. It's a sort of almost a teen anthem novel. And what do you say about someone like J.K. Rowling, who is, not a great literary stylist?
Okay.
Be careful. Like is already written when you follow the structure.
I couldn't catch the other words.
Okay, third one. I would like. I would like. So, third one. You take a book like The Beach. All right. It wasn't a book that. It was a sort of, almost a teen anthem novel. Perfect. Ways of giving yourself time to think. Julia often gives herself time to think when she's answering questions, either by stopping and starting again, sometimes in a slightly different way, or by using filler words like just, and searching words or phrase, for example, well, etc. so that do not add meaning, but which we use for this purpose to save time. So, can you listen to this podcast about these three people? In the first part, you need to write the capital letters, first letters of their name, and the second part is the same. So together, please do it.
2.27. In the street. 1. Charlie.
What was your favourite book when you were a child?
My favourite book was Dear Zoo.
Why did you like it so much?
I liked the fact that the boy got lots of different animals through the post and that actually all he wanted was a dog for a pet, and that growing up my parents wouldn't let me have a pet, so it was quite a nice idea of lots of animals coming to stay and then having to go backwards and forwards.
Was there a character in a children's book that you identified with?
Yes, George in Ian Blyton's The Famous Five was a girl, and she was like a tomboy, so I quite like the idea of being quite adventurous and doing things that boys tended to do when I was growing up.
2. Sean. What was your favourite book when you were a child?
Probably The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe.
Why did you like it so much?
I remember we had a teacher at school who read it aloud to us when I was probably 6 or 7, when I was too young to read it myself. And I remember getting the book and then sitting down by myself and reading it. I think it was the first time I realised how much you could get out of a book, I think.
Was there a character in a children's book that you identified with?
I can't think of any specific characters. I think I was quite a scruffy child. I always had dirty knees and torn clothes and things like that. So whenever there was a boy who got into lots of trouble, I usually thought that's a little bit like me. But I can't think of one particular one.
3. Lucy.
What was your favourite book when you were a child?
I really loved anything by Michael Morpurgo, all the Roald Dahl books, and the Northern Lights series by Philip Pullman.
Why did you like them?
I really enjoyed the Roald Dahl books because of the great illustrations that Quentin Blake did. I just found them really inventive and vivid, and they really kind of contributed to my understanding of those stories. And the Northern Lights I loved because it just offered a really detailed other world to just dive into, and this kind of idea of alternative universes and weird futures that could possibly happen.
Was there a character in a children's book that you identified with?
Not really sure. I used to love reading school stories, like books about boarding schools off in the Swiss Alps or anything like that. And while I didn't necessarily identify with a specific character, I liked the kind of general idea of it, I suppose, and the kind of jolly japes that they would get up to. So I kind of identified with them in a more general way as a schoolgirl, I suppose.
Okay. Me too. So listening to you. What did you understand from this podcast as well? You need to tell me.
It's a short interview, three people about their favorite books when they were child, and why did they like that book, and what was the similarities with their life?
What are the similarities we can say?
Of characters in that book, and why did they like to read some particular book?
Okay. So, complete please, first part. No. You can use only once. Nice. Famous five. I guess this is famous five. You forgot. First exercise. Charlie, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Mhm. Careful. This is Charlie again. Nice.
They have like really British accent, so it's like difficult.
Yeah. So. I think you need to listen to this podcast again to fill in the blanks from the previous podcast.
Okay.
Two point 28. Colloquial English phrases. 1.
I like the fact that the boy got lots of different animals through the post.
2.
She was like a tomboy, so I quite like the idea of being quite adventurous.
3.
I remember we had a teacher at school who read it aloud to us.
4.
So whenever there was a boy who got into lots of trouble.
5.
I loved because it just offered a really detailed other world to just dive into.
First one. What is the first one? I like the fact that.
Fact.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was a pet.
No. So, second part. What was your favorite book when you were a child? Why did you like it so much?
The first book was like Man Amphibia by Alexander Belinsky or Belikov, I guess. It was a Kazakh translation of that book. It was about like man have fish, like man amphibia. So he was his name was Ikhtiander, and he lived in Argentina.
Mm-hmm.
He was a result of the like experiment from one doctor named Salvador. So he raised him like as a half fish. So he could,
As a crop, as a product, as a project.
Yeah, it's a project, but he liked that guy, like his own child. So he was able to like breathe in the water, dive into like thousands of meters, and by creating that like project, the doctor wanted to research like really deep areas of the ocean.
So, was there a character in a children's book that you identified with when you were a child?
On that book, maybe not, but there were a lot of good characters and the bad characters. Good characters that helped to that guy, and the bad characters who wanted to use it, like to find the crystals deep in the ocean, like, you know. I did not identify with any one of them, but there was characters that I liked.
Did your parents used to read to you? When and where?
Actually, no, I don't remember, but I remember that they bought a lot of books for me, especially books with a lot of pictures, illustrations, so I could read. And also they brought home a lot of journals and magazines also. I really liked to read them.
Did you read more print books or more ebooks? Why not?
Nowadays I prefer more print books. A bit earlier, when I was a student, I read a lot of ebooks.
I read a lot of.
Yeah. Why? Because they were really expensive, and when we read ebooks, we can have the newest information from the world, from the science, from the business, technologies, economy, and it was easier to read ebooks rather than buying print books. But now I work, I have a job, so I can buy a lot of books that I want to, and nowadays I read a lot of print books.
Perfect. So, come to the end. Till here, do you have questions? Till here, do you have questions?
It was like a question, lesson of speaking and listening, yeah?
Something like that. They planned like this.
Without the grammar subjects, yeah?
Yes, it will be better, I guess. So if you don't have any questions, let's start. I will ask some questions. Not so basic. How has the reading habit of people in the last maybe 50 years changed?
About books, I would like to say it doesn't change a lot, but in terms of scientific books, scientific journals, magazines, maybe I think it's decreased. I didn't know I didn't see the situation in 50 years ago, but when I heard, when I hear from the other people or see the movies, I can see a lot of really scientific, deep knowledge that people have. But nowadays, only the researchers or scientists, especially in the developed countries, have that kind of knowledge.
But how it has changed? I asked. It's a little bit different question. And then what can be the reason, basically?
The reason, one of the main reasons, I think it was new technologies, from the television, laptops, computers, personal computers, first phones, mobile phones, like gaming, devices, like Nintendo or something. And nowadays we have smartphones that has features of
Have some features.
features of like everything, like TV, like radio, like
Mhm.
navigation system or something else, even books. So, I think the biggest reason was developing of new technology.
Advancement in technologies, we can say. So, after this lesson, not forget to do your business English site and your homework. That can be visible on your page. So, do you have questions before finishing the lesson?
About this lesson, no, I don't have a question.
Okay. If you have any questions, you can see my WhatsApp number here. You can ask anytime. Thank you for today. Take care of yourself. See you in the next lessons. I hope. Bye-bye for now.
Okay, thank you, goodbye.
Goodbye.